Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can see from the thumbnail and the title of the video, I picked myself up a new Glock 19. As some of you may know, Glock has discontinued practically their entire lineup of pistols. They are going to be redesigning them, called the V series, which is going to be released in December. So I decided to kind of panic buy and got myself one of these pre-ban Glocks. In the past, I had a Glock 19 Gen 4, I had a Glock 26 Gen 3, I had a 42, I had a 43X, and I say had on all of those because I'm honestly not a huge Glock fan. For home defense, I prefer my Beretta PX4 Storm over anything I've ever had, and then basically as a backup, I have my CZ P09. For my daily carry, I prefer my SIG P365, and as a backup, I have my Smith & Wesson Shield Plus. So I kind of didn't have a need or necessarily even a want for this, but I figured you're really never going to be able to find these again, and definitely not new, so decided to get one. So stick around if you want to learn about a Glock 19 Gen 5 MOS. We'll do a real quick unboxing, show you everything that comes with it. We'll go over all like the features and specifications, and then I'll also show you guys how to field strip it. So this was purchased through Bass Pro Shops, and I did not get any deal or anything like that. I paid like MAP pricing basically for it. Just kind of show you everything that's in here though. So you're going to have some additional back straps. There's two in here. When they first released this Gen 5 model back in like 2017, 2018, you used to get 4 additional back straps with it, but they've kind of got a little bit cheap on things. This red trigger lock, I think Bass Pro is who does that. I don't think it came from Glock that way. So there is going to be a magazine in the gun. And just so everybody knows, I mean, this is brand new. It's completely empty here, and then you get 2 additional magazines, so you get 3 of them total. These are 15 round capacity, plus 1 in the gun, so 16 rounds total. Oh, you also get this little speed loader thing here that Glock includes, so you can put this down, you can put this over top of it, and then basically it helps you load your ammo into it. And especially when you get to like that 14th and 15th round, sometimes when they're brand new, they can be really stiff to push those rounds in. So this helps with that. And this actually has some texturing on it. And once I get to the gun, you'll see that that texturing kind of matches it, like the stippling. You're also going to get this cleaning brush and this rod right here. Get a padlock. This here is the key that you need to remove that little trigger lock. They include 1 plate. Since this is the MOS, you can put a red dot on it. Again, when they first released these, they used to give you a set of 4 plates. This one here is basically just for like an RMR footprint red dot. But they used to give you them for Doctor and maybe RMSC and I don't know what else, but yeah, they used to include 4, but only 1 now. And you're going to have your manual. I'm going to get that trigger lock off before we go any further. You can see how it has these 2 little nubs here, and those obviously fit in there. If you ever get a gun that doesn't include that little tool, you can take some tweezers and basically put in here and turn. If you don't have tweezers, you can take basically like 2 screwdrivers, small ones, and put it at the same time and turn. Or if you're like needle nose pliers, if the tips are small enough, you can put them in there and just twist it. So this is the Glock 19 Gen 5. Again, mine is the MOS version. You can see this little cutout right here. I can remove this plate and then be able to put a red dot on here. And I will do that eventually, and I'll show you guys which one I decided to go with. So again, I had a Gen 4, and there's quite a few changes between the Gen 4 and Gen 5. starting with like the finish that's on the slide and then also the barrel. They're calling it the nDLC. I don't know exactly what that stands for, but it's supposed to be more durable, be like tougher. So like when you're putting it in holsters, you won't have as much holster wear, or if you were to drop it, it doesn't like scratch as easily, it doesn't rust. There used to be finger grooves on the previous gen. They have removed them. I wear an extra large glove and my hand is right at the end here. A little bit sticking over, but still able to purchase that pretty well. There's a nice undercut right there. This Gen 5 has an ambidextrous slide stop or slide release lever. I don't think my Gen 4 had that. I think it was only on this side. The magazine release is reversible. So if you're left-handed, you can put it over here. Another change on the Gen 5 is that they've actually flared this mag well just a little bit. It helps with the reloads. Basically just helps you find that area easier. You can see how it's pretty subtle, but it's definitely there. I think on some of the early Gen 5s, I think there used to be like a half moon cutout right here. So if you had a magazine get stuck, you could like pull it down. I'm actually glad that they removed it. A lot of people said like it felt weird on their finger there. So the Gen 4 that I had definitely did not have an optic cut. And I don't know if any Gen 4s honestly did. So this might be a new change that they came out with as well. But it's called the Modular Optic System. And with that included plate, I basically am stuck with an RMR red dot. But there are some companies who are making direct mount to the MOS footprint here. Or with any other plates, I can basically mount any red dot that I want. Another change on the Gen 5s is that they do have front slide serrations now. They used to only be in the rear. So if you're someone that likes to either rack from the front or just do a press check or whatever, you can grab up there now. They also have like beveled this front. The slide used to just be squared all the way down. And if you can see here, they've now like notched that off. And that's supposed to be able to like help you reholster easier. I talked about the texturing on that speed loader, and it's supposed to match the stippling or whatever that's on the grip here. I honestly don't remember my Gen 4, but this is supposed to be different than what the Gen 4 was, but it is all four sides, which is nice. I've had a lot of guns where you only get it on the sides or only on the front and back. It does have a rail with a single spot here for you to mount a light or a laser or whatever. We got our standard Glock sights. And then this does have a trigger safety. You can see a little blade right there. That blade has to be depressed, which is just kind of natural. As your finger comes on it, it just naturally pushes it back. And speaking of the trigger, they listed at 5.85 pounds, so just under 6 pounds. See what the reset's like. A little bit of travel. Real positive right there. Another change for the Gen 5s is on the magazines. The followers are orange now. So if basically on your last round and your slide holds open, you'll be able to see down in there much easier. We're looking at an overall length of it, just about 7 inches. An overall height of under 5. You put the magazine in, you're probably right at about 5 inches. A width of just over an inch. And it's going to have a barrel length of 4.02. And I'll show you that barrel here in a bit. We're looking at a weight, gun by itself, of 1 pound 4.1 ounces. An empty magazine. Got a total weight of 1 pound 6.6 ounces, which is 22.6 ounces total. So to field strip a Glock is very simple. You don't need any tools at all. We are going to make sure again that we are completely safe and empty. Nothing's in that barrel. Okay. You do have to pull the trigger, and then the easiest way is to kind of take your hand and wrap it around the top of the slide like this, and you pull back just a little bit, and then these tabs right here, there's one on each side. You have to make sure that you pull them both down at the same time. Once they're down, the slide will just come right off then. And then the lower here, you can kind of take a brush and kind of clean stuff there if you were cleaning it or whatever, but I just really want to show you how to get this stuff down. Pay attention to where your guide rod and spring, which of these little shelves that's sitting on there. Because as you can see, there's kind of almost like two shelves there. And when we put this back together in a minute, we want to make sure that we get in that bottom one. But to remove that, you just kind of push up, and then this just slides right out. And then here's your barrel. You can just kind of pull that and it just pops straight out. And one of the other changes with the Gen 5s is supposedly this is the Marksman's Barrel. And they have like done something with the rifling. I don't know if it like improved accuracy or what, but again, it does have that nDLC finish to it. And it was the 4.02 inches in total length. But again, this is the first time I pulled this off. You can see like this gold color stuff in here. That's what Glock puts on from the factory. Some people leave that and just shoot like that forever. I will probably clean that out and put my own oil and stuff on there. But then just to reassemble it, it's just kind of the opposite. Put your barrel back in first. Make sure that it slides and locks kind of into that lug. And then take your spring and guide rod, and remember, put it on that bottom one. It's going to look like that. Try to always make sure that this is centered. Don't be like off like that, or your slide could kind of get jammed up on you. So try to make it in the middle there, and then just put it back together. And then just kind of line everything up here. And it should go right back together. And then do a function test. If you're somebody who does get slide bite as that's cycling, I showed those two back straps here. Both of them have beaver tails on them. I know it's kind of hard to see. One is a medium and one is a large. And they also include a little pin, or the tool that you use to push that out, and then literally just goes over here and you put the other pin back in it. So I am not someone who likes to change a bunch of stuff on a gun, especially not like the internals and stuff. I usually don't even change out sights or anything, so this is basically how it's going to stay for me. However, I do have plans for a red dot. I have plans for a pistol light and a holster. And then once I get those things, I'll show you guys, videos on those as well. But alright guys, if you found the video helpful or informative in any way, please give me a thumbs up. It really helps the channel out. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And that's going to be it on this one. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.